Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back. My name is Katarina with 5 Parts Refinishings. Thanks for joining me in today's episode. I'm going to be just doing a quick little how-to video on how to repair the pedestal. I will take you through the issue and then walk you through the steps on how to rectify the situation so that way it doesn't happen again in the future. So let's go over this project and get started.
Okay, so what we have here is a double pedestal dining table, and the customer has brought it in because there is an issue there's two issues. One is the joint on one side has come apart from the main post, and the other issue she is concerned about, there is some cracking here where the wood has been put on top to create the curve. Now, it is not actively lifting off. It has separated because of weather condition, most likely, so dry and cold. And there is another one, a bigger one that she's concerned about, and that is right here. So try to get a big, good up close one. So quite significant.
Okay, so while those cracks are not structurally an issue, aesthetically, they are not very pleasing to look at. So I'm going to show you later on how to go about hiding those so that way it tricks the eye into thinking that there is no issue there at all. So let's get this flipped upside down so that I can show you how to take off this leg here properly. And you can see that really clearly now that this piece is just pulling away from the main pedestal base. It looks like it is okay on the other ones, but I will double check those just in case. So what we're going to do here is there's one single screw. So you go ahead and remove that. Okay. Now, seems to be that, yeah. So there was a bit of glue added. So what you're going to need to get this done is a chisel and your mallet.
So it's important to note that I am not hitting the leg very hard at all. I'm actually just gently tapping it with my mallet. I'm really only trying to get the mallet to give it a little bit of a boost. The majority of the work is coming from me with the chisel by pushing the chisel outwards against the base of the pedestal. When you are actively pulling against the leg, you want to use a wiggling motion, an up and down motion, gently to try to release the glue bonds that are inside the dowels and the holes there that are holding the pedestal leg together. So while this is sped up, it did take me a good couple of minutes to get the joint released and everything ready for the next steps. So just take your time with it and don't rush this process.
There was a repair done, but not nearly enough glue for what this requires. So let's fix that. First thing we have to do is get rid of all of this excess glue here because you want your surface to be wood-to-wood contact for the next glue job to adhere properly. So just chisel away some of these chunks. So when you're filing the actual dowel, if there's chunks of glue stuck onto the dowel, I would suggest trying to get off as much as you can with your chisel. Don't rasp it too much or sand it down too much because you want it to maintain tension when you glue it together. You don't want to lose that. You just want to try to get off as much glue as you can without affecting the size of the dowel. Yeah. That's what helps keep the table together under tension here. Okay, so that's clean on this side, but you can see from the inside here just how little bit of glue there is, but just how much glue needs to come off too. So let's work on that. Before I work on cleaning that, I'm going to glue this piece in here. You want to be downstairs for a bit? Well, as long as you're quiet and you go to bed soon. So what I'm using is, I'm just going to use some 120 grit sandpaper and just a contour sanding block just to roughen it up. Okay, so this is clean and free of glue now. So it's really hard to tell, but there is old glue at the very bottom of these peg holes here. So I'm going to, there it is. It's really kind of hard to tell. Got a good angle. But so you have to make sure that when you're doing your glue up that you're also taking the glue out of the holes, because that will impede the dowel's ability to get all the way to the end and also adhere really well. So I'm just going to try to use my chisel and chisel some of that out. So all of that came out of this one hole. Now it's time to do a little bit of a test run to make sure everything fits back correctly, and then we'll do the glue up. As I've mentioned in the past, when I am doing joints, I am going to be using a hide glue. For repairs, I use a wood glue because it is a permanent bond and I want it to stay as strong as possible. Hide glue is very strong, but if there's an issue with the joint in the future, someone else, whoever works on it, myself or someone else in the area, they can it's reversible. And so you want the joint to be able to be fixed in the future. So use a hide glue or PVA glue, polyvinyl glue when you're working with joints.
Now, depending on the type of pedestal that you have and how intricate it is, you may need to create some clamping blocks in order to be able to clamp properly. I was fortunate enough that I was able to get enough of a grip when I was clamping, so I didn't require them. But at one point I did think that maybe I would have to create some clamping blocks for this piece, but in the end it turned out okay and I was able to clamp it successfully. On to the next step of this project. It's going to be to repair some of these cracks. Now, I did check with my clamps to see if this was an actual structural crack or not, and to try to compress the crack together, and it did not move. So this leads me to believe that this is not a structural crack. None of them are. They are just simply adjusting to the weather climate up here, seasonal changes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use some wax sticks and melt the wax inside the cracks there and color blend them in as best as I can to camouflage the area. It's not meant to be perfect. It's just meant to hide and trick the eye into thinking that there's nothing there when there is something there. So nothing structurally needs to happen here. It's all just aesthetic to change the appearance of it.
And so there's a couple different colors in here. And so what's really great with wax is you can, as you melt it, you can play with the color a little bit. And so you can tweak it as you go. So I'm going to start with the lighter color first and then add the darker color as I go. And that's going to build on it. This is a fun little soldering iron. It hopefully is not dead on me. Please don't be dead. Oh, there we go. Okay, so green is go. You just have to wait a second for it to light up and heat up. It doesn't take long. These little soldering irons work very fast.
Portable. It uses a USB outlet, so you can charge it, which is great. Oopsie daisy.
I did also want to mention, because I didn't show it in my video, but after I had finished all of the crack repairs and the pedestal got glued back on, I then went over the entire surface with a water-based degreaser, cleaned everything up, and then I did a restore finish in the color walnut. And then on top of that, to seal everything in, I used the Howard's Feed-In Wax to protect it all in the end. As I finish up the crack repairs, I hope you enjoyed this quick how-to tutorial on how to repair a failing pedestal table. Thank you for watching, and thank you to all of my subscribers. If you like this sort of content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to set the notification bell as well so you can be one of the first to see when I post new videos. I'll see you all very soon on the next episode, where I show you how to update an outdated and very orange oak table into something sleek and modern. And if you have any questions about this tutorial or a project you're working on your own, please go ahead and leave those in the comments section below. Until then, see you all soon, and bye for now.